When I said poison, I meant it. Look.
Monty.
What's all this about somebody trying to kill Abigail? Where did you find out about that?
I gave that to Mother tonight. She bawled me out for it and said she was going to give it back to Abigail in the morning.
Oh, then you're the guy that slugged me.
Yeah, and I'll do it again anytime you train down to my weight.
You really want some tea?
Yes. I take my tea strong. It makes me sleep better.
You'll sleep.
Oh, saccharin, huh? It keeps your weight down. Kind of anxious little things, aren't they, huh? Pretty strong for their size, too.
Drink, and you'll sleep.
Mr. Penny. What are you doing with that coffin?
Well, the coffin is a very fine hand.
Yeah, well, what's that body doing in there?
My, but I feel like a kid. I'm just a murderer. That's what I am. A common murderer. What a way to make a living.
Have you got a match, old man? Why, yes. Here you are. Well, come. Thank you. Aren't you afraid being out so late in the dark?
Afraid? Why, no. No, I'm not afraid. Why?
The marinator.
The marinator?
My card. Don't you read the papers? 500 cases of marinated herring in 1 week, and all in this vicinity alone. Hop. 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 Hop.
Order. Do you swear to so help you? Tonight, along with our regular staff of experts, we have as our guest expert a young man who, as some of you may know, is on trial for his life. Now, the first question I have here is, name 4 crimes with which the culprit is charged. We have to get 3 out of 4, gentlemen.
I know. Disturbing the peace.
Resisting an officer. Like in the New York Giants back in 1903, McGinley was on first base and... That's right. Now, one more, gentlemen. Marinating. Very good, Mr. District Attorney. And what exactly do you mean by marinating? I mean assault with a deadly weapon. And specifically, what sort of deadly weapon? I mean a barrel of vinegar. You know all about that, don't you?
Yes. I mean, no.
Oh, there's something on the end of the hook, the end of the hook, the end of the hook. There's something on the end of the hook, but it's shad rope to me.
let's not have any more of that, shall we?
Or I'll throw you all out of your ears!
Now, the next question, gentlemen, is a musical one. We want to know what the following composition reminds you of. You have to get one out of one. Ready?
I know.
Very good indeed.
Your Honor, this trial is a farce.
You're telling me. Proceed, Mr. District Attorney.
Do you recognize this?
Well, yes, I mean, no.
Oh, there's something on the end of the hook, the end of the hook, the end of the hook. There's something on the end of the hook, but it's Shadrow, Shadrow, Shadrow to me.
Stop it!
Where were you on the night of January 13th?
Is anything wrong with the soundtrack?
No, nothing's wrong with the soundtrack. Just speak a little more distinctly, stupid.
Well, you see, I'm a little nervous.
Oh, there's something on the end of the hook, the end of the hook, the end of the hook. There's something on the end of the hook, but it's Shadrow, Shadrow, Shadrow to me.
That is a lovely thing.
Voice witness.
What's the gag?
I'm just a silver fish among the gold.
Next witness. What's your name?
Smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon, eh? Next witness. Wait. Don't tell me. Boiled lobster.
Pickled mackerel. Stewed oyster.
That sends a $50 war bond and a set of the encyclopedia to Mrs. Evelyn Thudd of Skunk Hollow, New York.
And now do you know what we're going to do? You and I?
What?
We're going to reenact the crime. Only you're going to be the herring.
Oh, but that's just silly. In the first place, I don't look like a herring.
That's what you think.
But I don't feel like a herring.
You will, Oscar. You will.
Cold.
Nonsense, it's just right. Now I'll count 3. 1, 2, 3.
Stop it! Stop it! I'll talk.
Oh, there's something on the end of the hook, the end of the hook, the end of the hook. There's something on the end of the hook, but it's Shadrow, Shadrow to me.
I'll confess to anything. Only don't sing that song.
All right, let's have it. A complete confession.
Wait! Stop! Hold it! You let him go! Why, I like to be marinated.
Well, so do I.
What's wrong with marinated herring?
Case dismissed.
Oh, there's something on the end of the hook, the end of the hook, the end of the hook. There's something on the end of the hook, but it's Shadrow, Shadrow, Shadrow to me.
Will you please turn off that radio?
Why, lady, that's Kay Kaiser.
Students! Charlie Mason, Jenny Sims, Harry Babbitt, Ishka Bibble, and all the gang. Something terrible going on in this house. Somebody's trying to murder Janice Bellacrest.
Murder?
Admitted you fooled me for a spell, but just like the farmer told the well, I dug your
Ting-a-ling.
ting-a-ling,
I'm the bad humor man.
ting-a-ling,
Ting-a-ling.
With a frown on my pants.
Now Jenny will bring you something she'd like to sing you.
I'd know you anywhere, I'd know that grin, I'd know you anywhere. I'm in a stew about it. What am I gonna do about it? I'm just gonna stay. Crazy for you.
Erskine, you're fired.
Why, Mr. Wood, what is wrong?
You! It is your idea we come up to this forsaken hole over the weekend? If I die of pneumonia, it'll be your debt to society.
Mr. Wood, I tried to be a competent secretary, but I have absolutely no control over the elements. How did I know it was going to rain? See, the paper says fair and warmer.
That's last week's paper. You're still fired. How much further do we go?
Won't be long now, Mr. Wood.
Well, it better not be.
Something the matter? I guess we're stuck.
You guess you're stuck? What are you trying to do, kill me?
Oh, no, it's not as serious as that. We just skidded into a fallen tree.
Don't stand there. Don't stand there like a trained seal. Suggest something.
I'm sorry, sir, but I never did work well underwater. I know this part of the country intimately. There are several houses nearby. We can walk to one of them.
Swim, you mean?
I see a light down that way.
You couldn't see a light if you looked at the forest fire.
Mr. Ames.
Oh, hello, Caraway. I'm sorry. I didn't recognize this as Dr. Kent's house.
Just a moment, Ames. I don't know who this Dr. Kent is, but I'm getting out of the storm even if it's to be the missing link.
Coming in, Mr. Ames.
Ames. Well, this is a surprise. Good to see you.
Yes, I suppose it is a surprise. We skidded off the road, hit a tree, and became mired in mud, and yours is the nearest house. Oh, pardon me, Dr. Kent. This is Herman Wood, the famous theatrical producer. You no doubt have heard of him, even if you haven't met him.
Delighted, Mr. Wood. You're courageous to face the storms we have up here.
Courageous. Insane, you mean? How do you do that?
And this is Homer Erskine, his secretary.
How are you, Erskine?
Oh, wet. I agree with you for once.
Hello, Gloria. Glad to see me.
More than you know. A certain gentleman here doesn't take our engagement seriously.
Harry. Hello, Ames. How do you do?
Gloria. This is Mr. Wood, Mr. Erskine, Miss Shaw, and Mr. Terry Gray.
Oh, Mr. Wood, I've heard so much about you.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. How are you, young man?
Still quite normal, thank you. Nice of you all to drop in like this. Your idea, wasn't it, Ames? After all, you were invited.
That had nothing to do with it, and I assure you I wouldn't be here now if I could help it. We were just driving to my place where Mr. Wood was going to hear me read my latest play.
Another play, Preston? My, you are prolific.
Well, play or no play, I ought to be in New York, in bed.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to remain my guest for the night. My chauffeur tells me the roads are completely out. Oh, forgive me for keeping you in these wet things. I'll have Caraway show you to some rooms immediately. Then you'll join us for a cocktail before dinner for your staying, of course.
Well, I like the cocktail part of the program.
Oh, Caraway, take Mr. Ames and his friends upstairs immediately. Owing to the storm, they're going to stay for the evening.
Yes, sir. This way, please.
Who are you? Why, you tell her. I'm beginning to be uncertain of everything.
Why, this is Mr. Wood. I'm Mr. Erskine, his secretary.
I pity you so much. You're surrounded by tragedy and sorrow.
Oh, you are psychic, Beatrice. Mr. Wood is the greatest producer of tragedies and dramas in the country.
You mean he was?
Hey, Ames, about this play of yours.
Why, yes, it's in my bag. As long as we can't reach my place, why not let me read it to you here?
Look here. I've just remembered an important appointment tomorrow in the city. I must return tonight. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely. He has to address the Travelers' Aid Society. On the proper way to fold a timetable.
My dear Mr. Wood, I would gladly assist you, but until the storm abates, there's no way of reaching the city.
Well, we may as well accept the situation, Mr. Wood. We'll have a good dinner and then retire to Dr. Kent's study for a nice, quiet reading. Perhaps it'll make you appreciate my play all the more. They say a full stomach breeds tolerance.
Well, something tells me I shall need it.
Mr. Ames, this is your room. You've used it before. This way, gentlemen, please. This is yours, sir. Right. And this is yours.
Just a moment. Have that coat dried out.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Anything else, sir?
Yes, close the door when you go out.
Yes, sir.
Well, the ghost walks tonight or never.
You don't sound very hopeful.
To the contrary. Not only hopeful, but brave. I'm going to ask you to marry me and go to California, where the sun always shines and the oranges fall from the trees to your breakfast table.
That's a beautiful picture on a stormy night like this. But with or without the oranges and sunshine, you know I won't marry you, Terry, because I love someone else. Terry!
Pardon me?
You're not a very easy man to discourage, are you? You forget that Gloria here is engaged to a mutual friend of ours.
I don't think that's any of your business.
Look here, Gray. I don't like your attitude. In fact, I don't think I like anything about you.
So what?
Why must you two always act like gladiators? Be sensible. Tonight of all nights must not be the time for any discord. You know I've never given you cause to think of me as more than a friend.
That depends on your viewpoint. I might argue that statement.
I'd like to give you the thrashing you deserve for those insinuations.
Please.
We'll discuss this later.
Erskine. Did you hear that scream?
Yes, you sounded like a grand opera star with acute indigestion.
Worse than that. Sounded like something unhuman.
Oh, pure imagination. If I allowed a noise like that to scare me, your voice would have killed me long ago.
Look here. Are you trying to insinuate I'm afraid? I'm just nervous, that's all. What kind of a madhouse is this anyway?
Don't be so excitable. It's probably your liver acting up again. Have you your pills?
My pills. Any of you folks hear a scream?
Yes, it frightened me too.
Yes, I can't understand where it came from.
Tell them where it came from, Ames. You've heard it before. Why scare your friends unnecessarily?
Perhaps you're right. Any scream you may have heard probably came from Beatrice's room. She's Dr. Kent's patient and Mr. Gray's sister. You met at the foot of the stairs. She's just a little irrational at times.
Well, as far as I know, it's nothing to worry about. Simply emotional outbursts.
Don't you just love a night like this? This old house seems to belong in the rain and thunder. I read a book once about an old, old house. And, oh, I don't know how many murders happen on just such a night as this.
Was that the clock?
Yes, I guess so. I think so. It must have been. But it's a union clock.
What do you mean?
Well, it strikes any old time.
What's the matter with Beatrice?
Yes, John. I am waiting for you. I am waiting.
That woman gives me goose pimples.
I've seen saner people than her in asylums.
I'm sorry this had to happen. Beatrice's spells are unnerving to a stranger, but after one gets to know her...
Know her. Say, if I never see her again, I'll be satisfied. Now, if you'll be so kind as to find some method for me to leave this house, see that I take it.
Oh, Prescott, we couldn't let you do that with your friends.
I think your friend is unduly alarmed, Ames.
Oh, is that so? Well, who asked you?
He has high blood pressure. He should calm himself.
Oh.
Miss Beatrice's actions are nothing to fear. She simply dwells in the unknown. As her attending physician, I can speak freely. The girl suffers from hallucinations and the shock of a tragedy that occurred in this house 3 years ago this night. Mr. Ames remembers that night very distinctly, no doubt. That's why he shuns my house.
Dr. Kent, I see no reason for making my sister's grief public talk.
I bet the doctor's going to tell us about some terrible operation.
That ought to be cheerful.
The unsolved murder of your sister's husband must be public talk in this house.
Murder?
I have taken notes on her actions since that night, and each year, at this hour, the flutter of that sound is heard, and she has acted as though the spirit of John, her dead husband, had returned to her. That's all there is to it.
Erskine, we're leaving.
Dinner is served, sir. No, we're not. Ghosts or no ghosts, we're eating.
We're leaving. You're disobeying my orders.
No, I'm not. You fired me an hour ago.
Gloria, Mr. Ames, Mr. Wood, Mr. Erskine. Hope you're all as hungry as I am.
Just give me an aspirin.
Just give me anything but a tomato surprise. I've had shocks enough.
This is about as cheerful as an undertaker's picnic in a cemetery.
You're right on time, John. I was so afraid you might disappoint me.
Mr. Wood, I think you're right. We better leave, now that John's here.
Yes, Erskine, I'm not a cowardly man by nature, but my nerves won't stand this any longer. That woman is dangerous.
My friends, please. I regret these unusual disturbances, but I've experienced these same phenomena in my patient's presence before. There's nothing to fear from the dead. I believe in spirits, but only of spirits.
Hear me?
Beatrice, please, your brother wishes you to restrain yourself.
My dear brother seems frightened, as well he should be, just like all the rest of you are.
Please, Beatrice, there are guests here, friends of Mr. Ames.
What do they mean to me? You, Terry Gray. You, Miss Gloria Shaw. And you, my delightful friend, know what that blood stain is. You were at this table the night poor John fell forward and stained the cloth with his own blood. The night he was murdered. By one of you.
Why, that's a lie. Open that door.
Claire, I'll call the police. Oh, this is outrageous.
Open that door.
Unloosen that portal.
I'm sorry, Miss Beatrice's orders are, let no one leave.
Jarvis is only partly correct. I gave that order.
What's the idea?
The idea, my friend, is to protect my patient's health. Any interruption might cause the loss of her sanity. You want the responsibility for that on your shoulders?
I think you're as crazy as she is.
Don't aggravate him.
They're all dangerous.
Everyone will please sit down.
You can't frighten me into anything. I don't know who killed your husband, but I believe your brother can tell you.
I thought you'd try to insinuate something like that, and I'm glad you did. Now I can voice what I've suspicioned these past years. You were jealous of John. You wanted to marry Beatrice for money. You, a penniless hack playwright. She preferred John, and you killed him.
There's always been insanity in your family.
Wait. He's right. I, too, always thought you killed John. You're unscrupulous enough to have done it.
That's enough of that kind of talk. You aren't free from suspicion either. As John's cousin, you inherited more money from his death than I did.
How dare you say that?
I can't listen any longer. In the name of humanity, allow Erskine and I to get out of here before they kill each other.
I appreciate that we have outside witnesses to what is going to happen. There is a murderer in this room, and we're going to find him.
John.
John, tell me the person who killed you. Speak. Quickly.
Why don't you admit it?
Hurry, before it is too late.
You'll talk now or I'll break your neck.
Lights! John! 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 Speak to me, John!
Jarvis, turn on those lights. Why, where's Beatrice?
Why, I don't know.
Dr. Kent, I demand I be allowed to leave this room.
And I'm with you. Remember my years of devotion to you. Divided we arrive, but united we leave.
Of course, I'd give anything in the world if this hadn't happened. Jarvis, open that door.
Oh, Mr. Wood, I'll see you later.
You'll not see me later. Not for a month, not for 10 years. I'm getting out of here.
And so ends the first act of my little play.
Oh, darling, it was wonderful.
Well, we certainly scared those two.
Nelson Wood's famous for his temper.
Isn't it remarkable how they reacted almost exactly as you had written them into your play?
I'm tired, and we've 2 more acts to go.
Well, you're as clever a group of actors as I've ever seen. And I've got Glory to thank for finding you.
Didn't I tell you they were troopers?
You don't think we frightened them too much, do you? What's the difference? It's a bloomin' order play, ain't it?
Oh, Jarvis, go get Beatrice. Good old Beatrice. She certainly played her part well.
Yay, but I was afraid she wouldn't scram before the lights turned up.
Beatrice, are you hurt?
Beatrice, what's the matter? Speak.
She's dead.
This isn't my room.
No. And whoever it does belong to has a gun.
A gun?
No, let's don't annoy.
Oh, shut up. This may come in handy.
A manuscript. The Ghost Walks by Prescott Ames.
As the group seat themselves at the table, the vacant chair also moves out, as if an invisible person was preparing to sit down. All eyes are on the chair. As the vacant chair slides back to the table, Beatrice addresses its invisible occupant. Beatrice speaks. You are right on time, John. Erskine, we've been witnessing a dress rehearsal of Ames's horror play.
You mean all those scares were part of the play?
Certainly. Wait. Here, let's try it again. Here, listen to this.
I'm afraid my play has been surpassed. We have a real menace in this house.
Well, there was no one in the house but us, and we were all in the dining room.
I know I was.
That's right, because I was struggling with you. I was sending you the light switch. Yes, and I was at the table, as you all know.
I was playing ghosts. I was all over the room. But I didn't do it, I tell you. I didn't do it.
Of course you did. Now, don't lose your head. Don't any of us.
A death-like face slowly appears in the dark, ghostly white and pallor. The face seems to float as it reaches the table. Beatrice, hysterically. John! Lights out. Everyone remains where standing with the exception of Beatrice, who disappears through a door in the kitchen. So they thought they'd impress me with their phony theatricals, eh? Me, who staged the burning of Rome while the gladiators were being gored to death in the animal pits. I wasn't scared a bit.
Neither was I.
Well, what are you doing under the table?
Well, I was looking for you.
Ridiculous. I hate cowards. When we get back to town, remind me to fire you.
Let the play continue.
Now that the play is over, I'll have to tell Wood what's happened.
Here he comes now.
Ha! Still making merry, I see. Well, we thought we'd come down again. It's too quiet upstairs for us.
Yes, we're used to shrieks, sirens, and suicide.
Yeah. Why, what seems to be the trouble? Has Miss Beatrice been found?
Yes, she has been found. Dead.
Is that so? No, I mean, it can't be. It's impossible. What are you talking about?
Mr. Wood, I'm trying to tell you that Beatrice is dead.
Beatrice is dead. I don't believe it.
Let's put this whole thing straight to you, Mr. Wood. We're all actors, hired by Ames here to present his play to you.
Actors?
Everything that's happened since you arrived was part of the play.
Except for Beatrice's death.
Mr. Ames, am I to understand that I've been witnessing part of the play you were to read to me?
Yes, I thought it a good method of presenting it to you. You see, this is really my house, and the fallen tree on the road was all part of my scheme to fool you. The storm, of course, was an added break.
Well, if these chills and thrills have been theatricals, where does the death of Beatrice fit in? Surely you don't destroy your characters.
Somebody evidently does.
We don't know any more about it than you do.
The police should be notified.
Now, wait a moment, everyone, please. I know that this is even more confusing to Mr. Wood than it is to us. He still believes we're putting on the play. So the only thing we can do is to show him Beatrice.
By all means, do.
Yes, death is no novelty to us.
No.
We stage it 8 times a week, including matinees.
And benefits.
Now, remember, no one is to touch the body until the police arrive. In there.
Well, where is she?
I don't know. What could have happened?
Well, you ought to know. You're the author.
Impossible. I never heard of it. The place must be full. We ought to get out of here.
Where can she be?
Perhaps he just stepped out during intermission.
Gentlemen, this is too serious for joking. She was on that divan 10 minutes ago, dead. You've got to believe it's for your own safety.
Oh, and you think we're all in danger?
We most certainly are.
We've got to search this house and find Beatrice and the person who...
I wonder who that could be.
Well, we'll never find out until we answer.
I will.
We all will.
Who are you?
Who are you?
A guard from the Greystone Sanitarium. Seen anything of an escaped patient around here?
What kind of a patient?
A quiet one, until disturbed, at which time he becomes slightly murderous.
Well, so help me if this ain't a night.
Oh, what's going to happen to us next?
Who are these people? I didn't know anyone was living here until I saw the lights.
What makes you think he came here?
Empty houses make good hideouts. I never saw or heard of anyone living here in the past few years.
Well, I've been living here about a month. I think you've come to the right house at that.
Yes? Has anything happened?
Uh-huh. A murder and a disappearance.
What are you winking about?
Winking? Why, my dear man, you're saying things. I simply stated a murder had been committed.
Murder? Ah. Well, it's him all right, then.
Well, who is this man you're looking for?
At the sanitarium, we'd call him Case 222. I guess you'd call him a homicidal maniac.
A maniac? And you think he's loose in this house?
Now, be perfectly calm. If my patient is here, and you scare him with hysterics, he might tear you apart to see what caused the excitement. That reminds me. Has anyone called his appearance?
No.
Well, that's the usual procedure, isn't it?
Oh, we forgot to, I suppose. But there's a telephone right here in the study.
Telephone?
Hello. Hello.
Cut. I suppose no one knows who did this.
Why should we? You don't think it's fun to be isolated with a maniac?
If the play calls for it, yes.
Well, I don't know what the rest of you are going to do, but I'm driving into town for the police.
Wait, it isn't safe outside. I'll walk with you to the garage.
Thanks.
I'll be right back. So those who want to go to bed are safe enough. Besides, it's easier to die in bed.
Come on, Ken, let's turn in. It's as safe up there as here if we lock our bedroom doors.
What's the idea?
Why, you're choking terribly.
Well, can you do any better?
You know, I had a hunch that Beatrice should never appear in a horror play.
Why?
Too highly strung and impressionable. A fatalist. She figured if you were paid to scare people, the law of compensation would see to it that you got scared yourself.
Utter nonsense. How could anyone possibly foresee a maniac coming here tonight and committing murder?
Don't interrupt him. The play's improving.
Not enough action for me.
Tell me, Ames, just how did you happen to come to this house yourself?
Funny you should mention that. I was just asking myself the same question. Of course, you saw that painting in the drawing room of Gussie Gillis.
Sure, everybody knew him.
And his history?
Naturally. Personally, I thought he was the worst butcher who ever severed a tonsil.
Right. And you remember how 9 of his patients mysteriously disappeared after he treated them?
They were murdered.
And when the police came to arrest him right here in this house, he committed suicide. He lost his mind from the strain of his surgical work, I guess.
Get to the point, man. I know all that record. Now, you say this house was his. How did you get it?
Why, that was easy. I simply advertised for an old, isolated country home. And the real estate agent for the Gillis estate answered and said he'd be glad to rent me this place. It's been vacant ever since the doctor's death. People were afraid to live in it because of the crimes that were committed here. It's supposed to be haunted. And the local people swear they've seen the lights go on and off in this house even while it stood unoccupied. Well, the rest of the story is short. I wanted to write a play in the same atmosphere he had lived his ghoulish life, so here I am.
I'll bet he'll come back to haunt you for this.
Did Jarvis get away all right?
Yes. There's no one around the ground, so I think I'll search upstairs.
I'll go up, too. I'm going to bed. And I'm resigning from your cast. You playwrights are all screwy.
I take it that this ends the second act. Now, if you don't mind me saying so, I think your play is rotten.
Well spoken, Erskine. Forget about being fired. Let's go to bed.
Yes, go to bed, Mr. Wood, and get some sleep. You insist the play is still on, but we've tried to tell you that it's ended in a tragedy. Good night, sir.
Good night, Miss Laurel.
Good night. Ames?
Good night.
Be sure and let us know if anyone else is murdered.
I can't convince those fools. They insist we're still playing for their benefit.
Oh, I wish we were out of this dreadful house. First it was Terry pestering me, and now this awful tragedy of tonight.
Don't worry, dear. You look all worn out. You get some sleep, and I'll see that nothing disturbs you.
Oh, I'm too frightened to sleep. Tell me the truth. Who do you think could have killed Beatrice, and where do you think she could be?
Well, personally, I believe it was just a burglar who's long since disappeared.
Then why would he steal the body?
Oh, to cover up the crime, I suppose. Now, you go to bed, dear. Why, Gloria, what is it? You poor kid, your nerves have completely gone.
isn't Philo Vance. I beg your pardon? Who said that? I haven't seen you since you solved the Kennel murder case. How are you? Well, for the love of... Nick Charles, what are you doing up there? Impersonating a book cover? Shh. I'm working on a case. Don't tell me you've gone back to detective work. I thought you had turned respectable. Didn't you get married? Oh, didn't I? Vance, I married a girl in a million. I heard it was a girl with a million. Well, same thing. I've become a California gentleman. I never heard of such a thing. What are you doing here in New York? Well, it seems that Clark Gable is making some personal appearances here, which interests my wife. And there's a very good bar at the Ritz, which is all right with me. So we popped into town to play. But would you believe it? Before you could say Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, I stepped right into the middle of a baffling murder mystery, and they put me to work. Well, you poor fellow, you have my deepest sympathy. I can use it. Believe me, Vance, this case is a toughie. It all revolves about a tall, thin man. I was standing at the bar of the Ritz one day, reaching for an olive, when a very pretty girl suddenly popped up in front of me and said,
Hello there.
Hello. Another glass. How are you?
You know, we do know each other.
Certainly, we've known each other for years.
Aren't you Nick Charles?
Huh?
You don't remember me. I'm Dorothy Wynant.
How is your father?
Oh, that's what I came to ask you. He's disappeared. Chris, what are you going to do?
That's what I said I'd do.
Chris, you wouldn't do that.
Nicky. Automatically.
Nicky, put Asta in here with me tonight.
Oh, yeah?
That knife's missing. I'll look for it in your back.
It's about Julia Wolf.
Did you kill her?
Gilbert!
Well, why not? You had a perfectly good motive.
How'd you like to have a couple of little murderers for your children?
And maybe I haven't been on a merry-go-round since that day. Are you, anywhere near a solution? Between you and me, I think so. I got all the suspects together at a dinner party. And then I pulled a fast one. I told them, and the murderer is right here in this room tonight. He's sitting here at this table. Are you sure that the murderer is one of that group? Not absolutely. But I know where to find out. Where? Right in there. Now, you watch me. I'm going to dissolve slowly into this book. If you'll stand by, I'll give you the answer.
Oh, it's you. I ought to pull the trigger, Pat. Well, come on, snap out of it. What is it?
Mr. Wood, maybe we're wrong. Maybe this isn't the play we're witnessing after all.
Oh, rubbish. You saw the manuscript, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't see anything in it about the top of my bed coming down and smothering me, just like a steak under onions.
Oh, nonsense. You've had too many cocktails. Besides, I wouldn't be lucky enough to celebrate your demise by violence.
That's a fine way for you to talk to me. Me, who's been everything to you but a mother. Now, Mr. Wood, listen to reason. I may be all wrong. I'm a nervous man by nature. But if this play is still going on, it's the closest thing to reality I ever saw behind the footlights.
Oh, you're a sissy. I tell you, this fellow Raines is clever. He has reality in his play, and that's what the public wants. Now, let me alone. And if you want to stay in the theatrical business, stop letting it scare you.
Oh, I was kidding all the time. That bed bracket was only a dream I had. And you were in it, too.
I was not. I was reading.
Yes, I saw that. You were reading a book on psychics. You were worried about the future yourself.
Say, go home and go to bed, will you, please? And if you want to think of the future, remember I'm firing you.
Mr. Wood, I have a premonition that we must stick together tonight. You need protection.
You mean you do? You're trying to muscle into my bed because you're frightened. Go home.
Oh, my dear employer, play or no play, I have no relish for my own couch. Move over.
Say, this is all Tommy rot. You've got the mind of an oyster and the nerve of an acrobat. As my secretary, I do allow you to share my office, but that does not include my bed. Hey, you were born in October, weren't you?
Yes, during the National Apple Week. Why?
It says here, your type is the instincts of a bloodhound, the heritage of the homing pigeon, the attributes of the ferret, and the heart of a lion. Yet you snuggle beneath my quilts, you cream puff, because of make-believe play is scaring you. You're fired once and for all.
Will you please close my mouth if I'm snoring? I have adenoids.
Adenoids, too? I homing pigeon, ferret, lion. I'm sleeping in a zoo.
Worried about you. Up here, all alone.
I'm all right.
Listen, Gloria. You know I love you. Why do you always give me the cold shoulder?
I'm just not interested, Terry. Why did you come here? It makes it very embarrassing.
Oh, I know. You're afraid your playwright sweetheart would be jealous if he knew I was here. Well, I wish he could see you now. I just came in to say goodbye. I'm walking out on this play, but I've got a curtain speech to make. And this is it.
Stop, Terry!
Gloria! Gloria! Are you fool? Now see what you've done. I'll hide in that closet until he goes. If you tell him I'm here, I'll tell you invited me. Understand?
Well, darling, what frightened you?
I saw a man.
Oh, where was he?
He came in that door. I screamed and he went away.
Oh, you poor kid, what a narrow escape you had.
Wonder what that feeling was about.
There's a light in Gloria's room. Let's see what's up. You take it easy. I'll find the guard and we'll search the house again.
What's happened? We heard screams.
Someone tried to break into Gloria's room.
What? Who?
I don't know. Here comes the guard.
Seen anything?
Plenty. Gloria was almost attacked by someone.
Fancy that. Who do you think it was?
We don't know.
We'll wake up everybody and find out.
Good idea. Let's try Terry first.
Oh, Terry.
Go on.
Not a sign of him.
Whose room is this?
Oh, that's mine. And there's Erskine's room, and that's Mr. Woods.
Well, let's see what they know. Empty.
Darn the luck. I wonder if that maniac could have... Try Wood's room before my mind snaps too.
Eh? Oh. Hey, you two.
Get out of here. My office hours are from 10 to 4.
Seen anything strange in here?
Yes. Here's an exhibit that ought to be in a museum.
What are you doing in here?
I was sleepy. Is the play on again?
No, we're just having a roll call.
Well, consider us absent.
Terry. Terry, come out.
Gloria. What, again?
Oh, let's don't miss this.
I might as well be a fireman.
Gloria, what is it, dear?
It's Terry. He was standing right in that closet. He's disappeared.
Well, what was Terry doing in your closet?
He was hiding.
From whom?
Why,
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, no, please let me explain.
It isn't necessary. I think I understand. I'd sooner trust a lunatic than I would a woman.
Yes, they're more reliable.
Strange how anyone could disappear from behind a nightgown.
You couldn't from behind my cousin's. She weighs 250.
Are you winking at me again?
Say, let's go down and get a drink. This isn't a horror play, it's a bedroom farce.
I don't think this situation is fair to me. You people are of very little help. That patient of mine is evaporating. He thinks all I've got to do is to look for him. Besides, I promised to be a Fourth of Bridge tonight with some friends of mine.
Speaking of wasting time, Jarvis should have been back from town with the police long ago.
Oh, Caraway. Will you and Kent go back upstairs, please? Just to be near Gloria. I couldn't stand seeing her myself just now, but I don't want to expose her to unnecessary danger.
I understand. We'll be glad to help. I'd just as soon go up again anyway. I'm dead.
Please don't use that word. I don't like that fella Caraway.
Oh, forget it. He's just a seedy butler.
Well, I feel duty-bound to see this night through. I live here and all that, but I'm beginning to reach the breaking point. The situation is getting out of hand. It seems to me you're about as useless a guard as I've ever seen.
Well, I've worked in 2 penitentiaries and 3 asylums and never had any complaints.
Best actor of the bunch. Well, boys, I'm going to retire from now for the second time tonight. Abe, go on with your rehearsal, but don't disturb me for the finale. And again I say, good night.
Please continue. I never walk out on anything that doesn't cost me something.
What does he mean?
Oh, these fools think we're putting on a play for their benefit.
I'm hungry.
I could destroy a few vitamins myself.
Well, you'll find some food in the kitchen. I'll be waiting for you here.
Hello? What are you doing down here?
Why, I just came down to get some cigarettes.
Well, you shouldn't have left Gloria upstairs alone.
Well, I'm not her guardian. If you're so anxious about her, why don't you go upstairs and play watchman yourself?
That's just what we're both going to do.
Well, the scene shifts. So do I.
Gloria?
Gloria! I smell chloroform.
This is all your fault. I told you not to leave her alone. We'll arouse everyone.
Oh, Kent?
Well, Mr. Wood.
He's probably in his room.
I shouldn't cue you, but here comes Kent now.
Oh, Kent!
Yeah?
Gloria's disappeared.
Huh?
Say, have you been out in the rain?
No, why?
Well, whoever stole Gloria took her out of the window into the rain. Funny that you should be out of your room and then appear all wet.
I don't like your insinuations, Mr. Ames. If you must know, I couldn't sleep. I was going to take a bath in the tub and turned on the shower by mistake.
That's what I would call a watertight alibi.
Maybe Mr. Wood knows something.
I'd have more privacy in a convention hall. Come in.
Mr. Wood, some gentlemen to see you.
Have you seen Gloria?
She doesn't seem to be here. Why?
Gloria has been kidnapped.
Goody, goody.
I say, that's beastly rude of you.
They accused me, but I think Teddy's the guilty one. He's gone, too.
They've got to search the whole place over again. Get up and see the fun. It's better than looking for a good candidate before an election.
Not me. I'm staying right here. And if they don't stop this fool play and get out of here, I'll rid the world of the entire cast.
All right, stay here. I hope you're the next victim.
Mr. Wood, could I have a word with you?
If you try to get in this bed again, I'll shoot you, so help me.
I only wanted to say that you're right, as usual. The play is still going on.
Of course I'm right. I know the theater like Barnum knew his elephants. And I'm not cross with you, Erskine. In fact, I'm going to raise your salary.
Thanks. People don't disappear every 5 minutes in real life.
Unfortunately, some don't. I'd like to get some sleep.
But the play...
Earn some of the money that I pay you by watching it for me.
Why, I thought you fired me.
Not till we get back to town. Now, shut up and get up.
Guard! Guard!
Huh? What do you want?
Fine help you are. Gloria's been stolen. You're standing around here eating chicken.
Well, one must eat occasionally. What makes you think the lady was stolen? Rather an antiquated way to acquire a woman, isn't it?
Oh, shut up. Her window was open. She must have been taken out of the house. I'm going to search the grounds.
I'm with you, Ames. Hey, you. Come here. Where's your friend?
If you mean my honored employer, he's upstairs in bed.
I think I'll go up and look him over. There's something queer about you both. He winks at you and you wink at me. And I don't like it.
We'll make a careful search of the ground. You go that way, now go this.
We'll search the house, and I'll meet you front.
Right.
Who's there?
Only me.
Oh, my old friend from the insane asylum. Come on in, sit down. Make yourself at home. Everybody else has. Hey, look here, old man, pal to pal. You're not really an asylum guard, are you?
No. How did you get it?
You can't fool an old-timer. You know, you're wasting your talents here. You're too good for this stuff.
The whole world knows that.
I said good, not perfect. Like that play. You know, I've been thinking that over. It's mighty darn gripping.
I think it's pathetically bad. I'll have no part in it.
Are you under contract to Ames?
Me? I should say not. But I'm ready for a presentation now that will astound the world.
I believe you are. I'll bet you'd be a sensation and a good part. And I'm going to give it to you. Herman Wood, the man who has given more stars to Broadway than Edison has electric lights, will star you personally in an extravaganza.
Splendid, splendid.
Oh, are you busy Thursday?
Let me see. No, I have nothing planned.
Good. Come to my office next Thursday and we'll sign a contract.
Splendid. But you should see me work first.
Well, what are you doing now?
Wasting time talking to you. Come with me, and I will show you real dramatics.
Are you kidding?
I never joke. I will show you drama. Stark, throbbing drama, with a master touch of comedy.
By golly, I'm with you. Just wait till I get my slippers.
Don't forget, Thursday. Come.
I'd feel a lot safer if I had my gun.
Where is it?
Home.
That's okay with me. Let's go over to your house and hang around.
It'll soon be daylight. Thank heaven. Ames. Anything new?
We made a complete search of the grounds and found nothing.
Well, how much longer is this going on? I'm getting tired of sitting around here and waiting for something that doesn't happen. The picture. It's alive. It winged.
What's the matter with him? He must be balmy.
Charles, what happened to you?
Remember when I left the house to get the car and the cops?
Yes?
Well, that nuthouse guard leaves me at the garage. Then just as I'm getting into the car, somebody slugged me with a lead pipe.
What was the idea?
Well, someone didn't want him to get away. And that someone is probably the escape nut that we're looking for.
How many of you are searching for him? There's already been a guard here tonight.
Well, there's possibly half a dozen of us, but believe you and I'll find him. Yeah, this guy disappears every so often, but we always spot him in this neighborhood.
I see. Well, after you were hit on the head, why did you come back to the house?
I figured getting the police was the wisest move to make. I've been knocked out and tied in the garage, but I broke the ropes. Then I tried to start the car, but I found out someone had gummed up the motor. Well, I began to hoof it into the village when these guards from the sanitarium picked me up, and here we are. Has anything happened since I left?
Yes, Gloria's been kidnapped and Terry's disappeared.
And now that Erskine person's gone violent.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll handle that.
Help! Help!
What's the matter?
Mr. Wood is gone.
What?
I said he's gone, and so is the guard. It's that picture that's doing it.
Oh, what's the matter with it?
Its eyes moved. It glared at me.
Why, it's as solid as the wall.
You're daffy. Those eyes never stared out of nothing but a paint pot.
I say someone looked out of that painting.
Okay, brother, we'll soon find out who's nuts around here.
Say, he's right. These eyes are phony.
What'd I tell you? Now who's that?
Hey, there's a passageway back to this.
A passage.
Look! It's moving!
That's how Beatrice disappeared from this room.
Well, I'm going to find out where it leads to.
I'll go with you.
Be careful. It looks dangerous.
My friends, since your entrance into this house, I've worked toward bringing you into this laboratory. Years ago, a famous surgeon lived, worked, and studied here. His name was Guthrie Gillis. He is dead now, but I, Professor Elmer Trittery, will carry on and improve his work.
Hey, I don't like these underground places.
Well, you may as well get used to it. You may spend a lot of time in one.
Why, the whole house must be honeycombed with passages. They lead all directions.
I am the greatest genius you have ever seen. I have mastered my work. Work that has produced power almost divine. I have become more than the greatest plastic surgeon in the world. I am the molder of mankind. I have reached a great decision. That is why I've allowed you all to trespass upon the seclusion that I have enjoyed in a supposedly deserted house. I discovered this old house of Dr. Gillis's on one of my many escapes from the sanitarium. It is admirably fitted for my work. All I needed was patience. And now I have you, healthy people, who can't stand the rigor of certain small operations.
So wait. This looks like a door.
See where that leads to.
This patient you're looking for, is he violent?
Sometimes. He almost killed a guard tonight when he stole his uniform.
Oh, and he winked, didn't he?
Leads into an open room with a swinging bookcase.
Then Gloria did see something in that study. We've got to find her before anything happens to her.
It seems to me this is the fluid I used to paralyze the mice with yesterday. I think I meant to use it on your friend Beatrice. But somehow I became somewhat confused. So now the poor girl is dead. Forgive my stupidity. I will be more careful to see that you don't suffer the accidental death she did. I have brought back the spark of life. I am colossal.
Oh, my head aches. Take that smelling salts away. You're choking me.
I am awfully embarrassed. I thought I killed you, but I only gave you a headache. I ask your indulgence in looking at this chart. You will notice the various noses, eyes, and chins. You all have an ideal, a face you envy. You can have your choice of alteration. You understand, my operations run in series. You may look as you wish now. Ultimately, I will slowly change you to fit my model. Young lady, you shall have the honor of being the first on my table. I shall require very little from any of you. Just enough to begin my work. A feature from you, a bone from him, and a cartilage from that one.
the guard.
It's Professor Twiddly, the guy we're looking for.
Then he's the nut. Well, he's dangerous. Let's get him.
Wait a minute. Better not get him excited. I know how to handle him.
Hello, Professor.
Why, Mr. McLeavy, what are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy?
Sure, but you've got to come home with us. It's important.
Home? Is there anything wrong?
Why, don't you remember? You operated on your old friend Julius Caesar a couple of days ago.
Did I now? Sure. Funny, I forgot. How'd it turn out?
Not so good. That's why we have to hurry back. You see, he got tired of his Roman nose, so you grafted on a new one. But you put it on upside down. And on rainy nights like this, the poor fellow can't go out for fear of drowning.
My. We'll return at once. Poor Caesar must be miserable.
Oh, Prescott, take me out of here. I never want to see another horror play.
Well, don't worry. I'll never write another one.
Yes, you will.
What?
Absolutely, but you've got to rewrite it. Just like this night and the experiences we've gone through.
Even to the murder of Beatrice?
Yes, I'm afraid Beatrice will have to die all over again.
Well, the ghost walks after all. Congratulations.
Congratulations, John. You were all right, too, Caraway.
Thank you, Mr. Wood.
Now, what's the matter with you?
I was just thinking how terrible it would have been had the professor really operated on us and changed us all. You might have gotten my adenoids, and I would have gotten your false teeth.
Erskine, turn your face to the setting sun.
Oh! What's the idea?
Don't forget, you're fired.
Oh, Mr. Wood.
Come.
Is everybody happy? I sigh. I cry. Why, it's just a bit of heaven. When my baby smiles at me.
You're a sweetheart in a million. Ooh, be my Aurora.
I mean, at least you feel a little more comfortable and safe when I'm around.
Doctor, when I have to turn to you for protection, I'll...
Did you slap me?
Did you slap me?
Uh-oh.
Asleep, so there ain't nothing between us and the cheese. Except except you and your hay fever, stupid. Now, here's the plan. I got it all mapped out, see? Now, at 8 o'clock tonight, we come along here, and right there is where the cat's sleeping. So you gotta...
Lay thee down now and rest. May thy slumber be blessed. Lay thee down now and rest. May thy slumber be blessed.
Go ahead and sneeze if you have to. We got nothing to worry about now. We got the cheese. The cat's outside. He can't get in. Go on and sneeze. Sneeze your head off.
You're not unaware of my position in this house.
Well, maybe you can tell us about it.
I'm being kept a prisoner here against my will. I'm alone and friendless. They're trying to destroy my mind, Mr. Lee. By innuendo and indirection, they're trying to make me believe I've done something dreadful in the past.
Perhaps I can explain, Mr. Lee. We don't believe there's anything wrong with Laura now. But we are sure something will happen to her mind if she continues to live under this strain.
Just as I told you, they're behind it. Can't I make that clear to you? They spend all their time trying to terrify me.
Just put the blindfold on, and you will know the truth.
No!
Wendy, you go outside and see that everything's locked up tonight. All right, Bradford.
Stay where you are and keep your trap shut.
So, Whitey, I thought you had 10 more years to serve.
Yeah. But I was so anxious to get square with you that I busted out. I could have knocked you off when I first come in, but I had to face the judge when he handed me my rap, and I want you to do the same.
You're crazy.
Maybe stir crazy. If I am, I got you to blame for it. I've been laying up there in the pen while the Black Raven's been doing pretty good for himself. We were partners when the dough was rolling in, but when the law cracks down, you don't know me from a yellow dog.
All of a sudden, you got too smart to take orders. When I saw what was coming, I protected myself. Why should I get into jam? Because you were a fool.
That's your story. The way it looks from where I stand. You double-crossed me so you could grab the works.
You could be wrong about that.
Yes. And I could be right. You weren't satisfied with a 50% cut. So now I'm going to give you a 100% payoff.
Andy, come here, quick. All right, go easy, man. Don't break his neck.
Oh, I wanted to make sure I had him.
No doubt about that.
He don't know his own strength.
We'll take him to my room. Bring him along. Put him in that chair.
What's the matter? Didn't he like the service?
He's suffering from rapid delusions aggravated by a moronic mentality.
Is that bad?
Might prove fatal.
I hope it ain't catching. Let up on me, Raven. I won't bother you no more.
I'm quite sure you won't bother me anymore.
What are you going to do with me?
You've still got another 10 years to serve. That'll keep you busy for a while.
Don't turn me in. I'll promise to leave the country and never come back.
I'd be a fool to take a chance on trusting you when I don't have to.
I'm told you can slip a hot guy across the Canadian border.
I don't think I know you.
I'm Mike Bardoni. You're the Black Raven. Now have that mud put my car away.
Andy? Oh, I'd like to dry out sometime tonight.
Maybe you'd like to see today's paper.
Registered, please.
I don't think so. I'm in a hurry to get across the border.
It's liable to rain all night. You may as well be comfortable.
Well, maybe I'd better.
Mike Bardoni, the big shot. In solid with the state organization. Taking the underground to Canada. What's the answer?
My racket's paying off big, so Tim Winfield decides to take over and make me an office boy. When I don't play that way, he tosses me to the coppers. I'll come back when the heat's off and settle with him.
Tim Winfield, huh? He's a bad man to fool with. Others have learned the hard way.
All right, so it won't be easy. You think I got where I did by being a cream puff? How about some grub? I didn't take time to stop and eat.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Buddy, the bridge is washed out. You'll have to turn back.
Oh, dear, are you sure I can't get through?
I just said the bridge was washed out. I'm sorry.
But just a minute, mister. Are you sure it's impossible to cross?
Listen, buddy, if it was possible to cross, you don't think I would be standing here?
Oh, no, of course not, mister. But how am I going to get over?
You are nuts.
But is there no other way? This is a matter of life and death.
Whose? Yours or mine?
Oh, please, now you're joking. There must be other roads.
Sure there is, but they're all washed out.
Well, have you any idea how long it'll be before the bridge will be fixed?
That just depends upon how long this storm is going to last. But if you must wait a while, there is a little shack down the road belonging to the highway police.
Oh, no, if I have to wait, I'd much rather take a room for the night, or until the storm subsides.
Well, then turn back about a mile to a place called the Black Raven. They might be able to put you up.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome. The bridge has been washed out. You'll have to turn back.
Do you have any idea how long it'll be before we can get through?
I'm afraid it won't be for some time.
Is there any other way across the border?
No, sir. All the other bridges have been washed out, too.
Do you know of any place around here that we can stay till the storm blows over?
Yeah, a mile back down the road is a place called the Black Raven. I'm sure you can get accommodations there for the night.
The Black Raven?
The Black Raven.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What are we going to do?
I don't know, darling. But we're not going to give up, even if your father's political influence did keep us from getting a marriage license in this state.
I wish we hadn't tried to elope.
Why, dear?
Father's a vindictive man, and I'm afraid he'll make trouble for you.
He has no political influence in Canada.
We're not in Canada yet.
No, but we will be. We'll manage somehow in the morning.
I hope so, before Father catches up with us.
Well, we'd better get out of here before this storm gets any worse.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Yeah? What for?
I just beg your pardon, that's all.
Don't bother me, screwball.
Are you the proprietor?
No. He's out in the kitchen scaring up something to eat.
Good evening. Did you want a room?
Yes, the highway bridge was washed out.
So I heard. Let me take these.
Oh, never mind. I'll carry these.
All right. This way, please. Your register, please. Going to Canada?
Yes, I thought I'd spend my vacation up there.
Excuse me. you watch what you're doing. Sorry, pal. I hope I didn't break your bottle of cologne.
I'll show you up your room. Oh, Andy, there's another car outside one's putting away.
Another one? If this keeps up, I'll never get dry.
You let Andy have the key to your car?
Oh, yes, of course.
You come with me. Nasty weather for traveling.
I consider that an understatement. The bridge is washed out, you know.
I know. Will you register, please?
Yes, thanks.
Miss Winfield. Any relation to Tim Winfield?
He's my father. Do you know him?
Known him by reputation. He's a very prominent man.
You see, we lack his blessing. That's why we're planning on being married across the border.
I can well understand that. I may as well take you all up at the same time.
Fine.
Oh, would you pardon me for just a moment? If you're ready, I'll have Andy take you on your way.
Oh, there's no hurry. I'll stick around for a while. I like it here.
Suit yourself. I'm sorry. This way, please. I'll be with you in a minute, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
I hope you'll find this room comfortable, Miss Winfield.
It's very nice, thank you.
I can give you a room across the hall, Mr. Bentley.
Well, that'll be fine, thank you. I'll be with you in just a minute.
I'm terribly afraid.
Now, everything is going to be all right, darling. We'll cross the border and be married in spite of Mr. Winfield and all his henchmen. Remember, don't worry.
Thanks for following me up here, Tim.
I didn't follow you. What you do means nothing to me.
I wouldn't be surprised if you changed your mind about that. I don't like to be kicked round.
You outgrow your hat, Mike. There's no one the organization can't get along without.
I'm glad to hear that, because they may have to get along without you.
Well, seldom I have such a distinguished guest as Mr. Winfield.
You know me?
I've had business with you, indirectly. You seem to have gotten wet.
Yeah, my car went into the ditch. Had to walk half a mile or so.
Oh, that's too bad. Put on this robe of mine, why don't you, while your coat dries?
Thanks. That may help me from catching cold. What business did you have with me indirectly?
I don't think you'll be interested in talking about that now. Excuse me while I get a jacket for myself. There's another car out front, Mr. Oh, pardon me. I thought you was Mr. Bradford. Andy, come here. Mr. Bradford, there's another car out front. Never mind about that. That prisoner escaped. You've got to search the house from top to bottom. You've got to find him. Who search for who? He may be dangerous. He is. Very dangerous. That's why you must find him right away. And that don't make me anxious to find him. Where's Bentley? I've been trying to catch up with him. I don't give information about my guests.
You know who I am. You better cooperate with me if you hope to stay in business. I warned you to stay away from my daughter, and you brought her here.
That's right. But as soon as we reach Canada, we're going to be married.
You'll never get to Canada.
Look here, Mr. Winfield. Lee and I love each other. Not even you can stop us. I could kill you for that.
A lot of people have felt that same way about me. But I'm still very much alive.
I hope for Lee's sake that you and I might someday be reconciled. But I won't take that, not even from her father.
You'll take more than that. I haven't even started on you. Lee isn't quite 21. And I'm going to have you prosecuted for kidnapping. I'll make sure you get the limit.
Andy, don't stand around there. Do what I told you.
Yes, sir. Connect me with the headquarters of the state police. That's what I said, the state police.
What's going to happen? Why is Father calling the police?
He'd call out the Marines if he could to keep us from getting married.
Operator. Operator, are you asleep? This phone's dead. It's all right a minute ago.
You probably noticed there's a bad storm going on. Anything could happen.
Once more, I forbid you to marry this fellow, and I expect to be obeyed.
You've no right to allow a stubborn prejudice to interfere with my happiness.
I'll be the judge of that. We'll go to your room, and you'll stay there till I can take you home. If you weren't a fool to think you could put anything over on me, we'll see.
Keep your chin up. Blake's can't always be against you.
Thanks. Things look pretty black right now.
You dislike Alan because he had the courage to oppose you in politics.
I dislike him. That's enough.
Why should you care who I marry? You've never shown much affection for me, and you can hardly expect me to show much love for a father I can't even respect.
What do you mean by that?
Don't you suppose I can understand the dirty politics that's kept you in power? Do you think I'm such a fool as not to know where you get your money?
And I can also thank Bentley for turning you against your own father.
He had nothing to do with it. I knew about you before I met him.
Well, you better start to forget him, because you'll not see him anymore.
into my room.
Man or a woman?
A man, I suppose. Why would a woman want to break into my room?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
This is no joking matter. My life may be in danger.
All right, all right. I'll go look under the bed for you.
Thank you.
Everything's all right here.
Someone tried to open that door.
That door's locked. Must have rattled in the wind.
I don't think so. It sounded exactly as if someone was trying to pick the lock.
Just your imagination. You look very familiar to me. Where have I seen you before?
I'm sure we've never met before. I suppose I remind you of someone else.
I never forget a face. Something about you is impressed in my memory. Maybe it's the decorations. I got it. You're Horace Weatherby, the missing bank cashier. I've seen your picture in the papers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How much did you get away with?
I didn't get away with anything. I'm on my vacation, and I have a right to go where I like and do what I please.
How much did you get away with? I could find out for myself by opening that satchel.
No, wait a minute. I'll tell you. $50,000.
That's far from being peanuts. You better turn that money over to me.
No, I won't. This is my last and only chance to live, and I won't give it up. All my life, I've been nothing but an animated dadding machine. I wasn't supposed to have any feelings or emotions. They just wound me up once a week with that little salary check that was supposed to make me tick until the next Saturday. And traveling back and forth to work in that crowded subway with its smell of sweat and garlic, all I could think of was fresh air and the out of doors. I never planned to embezzle any money, but the chance just came one day, and I took it.
That money goes back where it belongs.
I can't give it back now that I've gone this far.
I've no desire to see you sent to prison. If I take that money back, you're free to do what you like. It's that or stand trial for embezzlement.
They're jumping from behind. Who? A whole bunch of them.
Take your foot out of that clothesline and you won't be attacked anymore.
Oh. Well, it could have been a fellow that tried to kill you. How was I to know?
You want the back stairs. I'm going to look around here for a while, and I'll meet you on the second floor.
come again. Nothing can stop it.
You want to go first?
Yeah. No, certainly not. Ladies always go first.
Oh, nice.
Watch that step. Watch it.
Where'd you find
It's got me. It's got my hands. It's got. Jeez. It's this hand. It's this. It's... Oh. Hurry up. I feel like a mouse. Get me out of this.
In the event that the heir hereinafter named should prove to be of unsound mind, or if said heir should become insane or should meet death within a month of inheriting, then my estate is to be given to the person whose name is contained in envelope number 2.
Well, that will is practically an invitation to commit murder.
I remember a situation almost like this in an old play called The Fatal Hour, or She Should Have Known Better. At the end of the second act, the leading man takes the heroine in his arms and he kisses her. And then, filled with new courage, he starts out after the villain.
And, of course, comes back in the third act.
Oh, sure. No. As a matter of fact, in the third act, he's found dead in a bathtub. Why, there's nothing... Hey, wait a minute. This is loose. Hey, what's this? Listen, baby, don't be surprised if we discover an old skeleton in here. Well... Joyce! Joyce! None of my business. It might be a good idea if you were to keep out of sight for a while.
I'm not running away.
I found the dead man. I blame your stepdaughter. In there.
He's dead. Something must have hit him a terrific blow on the head.
It gave me a funny feeling when I seen him laying there with your robe on. For a minute, I thought it was you.
Did you look around to see if anyone was hiding in the room?
No, sir. As soon as I seen that corpse, I left right now.
Let me out! Let me out of here!
You better stay here.
What happened? Why is everybody so excited?
Your father met with an accident.
Where is he?
It's best for you to stay here.
How did it happen?
Evidently, someone didn't like it.
Oh.
There's nobody upstairs. One of our guests seems to be missing.
Yeah. How about that fellow that's trying to register, John Smith?
Well, there's your murderer. Might be. Go and see if any of the cars are missing. Make sure that none leave.
Yes.
Come on in and shut the door.
Where's that money?
Is that the $64 question?
Quit stalling. That little shrimp had 50 grand in his satchel, and Winfield took it away from him.
And then what?
Well, somebody's got that money now, and it could be you.
So you killed Winfield?
We won't worry about who killed Winfield. Where's that dough?
I don't know. Thank you for telling me about it.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe that young fella got himself a wedding present the hard way.
Anything's possible, but I don't believe that's the answer.
But where's that money now? It isn't a pigeon that can fly home by itself.
It's a wonder they wouldn't keep that cellar door locked before somebody breaks their neck.
Mr. Barnes! Mr. Barnes! Mr. Barnes!
What is it this time?
Someone down the cellar.
You probably heard a mouse.
I didn't hear nothing. I seen a shadow.
Plenty of shadows down there.
Yeah, but they stay put. They don't move around.
With your imagination, you could see the Statue of Liberty do a conga. Hi, hello, Sheriff. What brings you out on a night like this?
Phone operator said someone from here was trying to call the state police, and the phone went dead.
That's right, but he won't need them now.
Oh, why not?
Because he's like the phone. Dead.
Yeah. Died kind of sudden, didn't he?
I think he was murdered.
Murder? When you act like that's nothing to get excited about? Where's the body?
You'd have to go upstairs.
All right, lead the way. Don't any of you leave this room.
There he is. Who is it? Tim Winfield.
Tim Winfield? Why, he's one of the big men of the state. They've got to land someone for this murder.
That ought to be easy for a man of your ability.
Don't you worry about my ability. What do you know about this murder?
No more than you do at the moment.
Well, I'll decide about that later. Who found the body?
Andy. He was looking for an escaped convict.
Hey, so you think you can explain this murder by pulling an imaginary convict out of a hat, do you? Oh, I thought you could do better than that. Let's go downstairs. I want to talk to Andy before I do any more investigating. Did you find the body, Andy?
Uh-huh.
You sure he was dead when you found him?
Well, he didn't say whether he was or not, and I didn't stop to ask no questions. Hey, you ain't thinking maybe I done it.
Never mind what I'm thinking. You answer my question.
I didn't have no reason to kill nobody, but he did, to keep himself from being arrested for kidnapping. They had a fight right here in this here room, and I heard him say he could kill the other fella.
So you had a fight with the court, huh?
My father objected to Alan and I being married. That was all.
Let him answer my question. And I'm warning you, whatever you say can be used against you. Where were you when the murder was committed?
Right here in this room.
Who was with you?
No one. I was alone.
Well, that's not much of an alibi. And the corpse was trying to call the state police to have you arrested for kidnapping. Well, you can't beat that for a motive. I guess we can call this crime solved without much trouble.
You're more stupid than usual, Sheriff. That boy isn't a murderer.
Maybe you're mixed up in this, too. I've had my suspicion about your business here at the tavern for a long while.
Yes, I noticed that. It's been very amusing.
Yeah, well, maybe it won't be so funny one of these days. You come with me while I finish looking around upstairs. You better stay here, Don.
No, I'm going with you.
Don't stand there and argue. Come on.
It's too bad you weren't born without a tongue instead of without a brain. Well, I didn't want him to think I done it. All right, he doesn't think you've done it, so get out. Yes.
You're not planning on having John Law get me out of your way, are you?
You're not in my way. I'm not going to have that boy take a rap for a murder he didn't commit.
Oh, the Raven's turned soft all of a sudden. He just wants to get the kid out of a jam. He's not a bit interested in the 50 grand.
Believe it or not, that's the way it is.
I don't believe it. That dough's around here someplace and nobody elbows me out of the way.
I beg your pardon.
What's the idea of pushing me down the stairs?
I really didn't push you.
Maybe it was an accident. What do you want anyhow?
You have the keys to my car. Will you give them to me, please?
No. Mr. Bradford says no one's to leave here.
But the sheriff has the murderer. There's no longer any need for the rest of us to remain.
Mr. Bradford says no one leaves, and no one leaves till he tells me different.
But I'm afraid to stay here. I know there's going to be more violence, and my nerves can't stand that sort of thing.
Ain't no use arguing. If I can stand it, you can. Come on, get out.
You'd better confess. It'll save me the trouble of looking for the murder weapon. And it'll be easier on you.
I've nothing to confess.
He couldn't do a thing like that, Sheriff. You must believe me.
The lady, you've got to cooperate with the law or keep quiet.
If you would allow anyone to cooperate, you might not make such a fool of yourself.
When I want your advice, I'll ask for it.
You're going to have my advice whether you want it or not. You're trying to pin a murder on the wrong man.
You said that sure he's innocent. Maybe you're guilty.
Maybe I am. You don't know that I'm not.
Are you confessing to the murder?
Certainly not. I'm merely trying to point out that you don't know who's guilty.
You're just trying to confuse me, that's all. He's guilty, and I'll have no trouble to convict him. Come on, get in there. You know better than I am.
No, you stand. Where did Winfield go when he took that money away from you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Quit stalling. I heard the whole thing. Maybe Winfield hid that money someplace. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Hey, did you kill Winfield?
Don't say a thing like that again. Somebody might think you meant it.
Now, why don't you confess and take life instead of the chair?
I tell you, I have nothing to confess.
Oh, now, you're just being foolish, that's all. You can't beat this case. Tim Winfield's got a lot of important friends, and they'll make it their business to see that you're convicted.
Run out, run!
Turn me loose. All of you. You've done that on purpose.
I'm terribly sorry. I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
Come here. Down there.
I'm sorry he made that break. It makes it look worse for him.
This is his only chance. That crooked political bunch would be only too glad to railroad him, to get him out of the way.
Yes, that's true enough. We've got to find the murderer. You wait in your room till I see what can be done.
Don't try to make another break. Stop, or I'll shoot!
I thought so, too. Guess it must have been the thunder.
It wasn't thunder. I was standing by the window and I saw the gun flash. I'm afraid Alan's been hurt.
Now, don't you be frightened. He had plenty of time to get away.
He might have tried to come back on my account.
Don't worry about something that probably never happened.
Why does that copper come downstairs and go on about his business? Hmm?
I really don't know.
Maybe the Raven is cooking up something with him to put the skids under me. Mugs bother me. Maybe one of you knows where that money is. Anyway, I'm not giving you a chance to scram with that dough while my back's turned.
But I assure you...
Never mind about that. I'll see that you stay put. Come on, start moving. Get down those stairs.
I don't like it down there.
Neither do I.
Who asked you what you like? Get down there. I guess that'll hold you.
You're hiding down here. I've seen his shadow creeping along the wall.
What are we going to do?
We may have to fight for our lives.
Where's that copper?
Outside catching cold, I hope.
Maybe the gal here knows something. She could have been slipped the satchel.
What's he talking about?
He has an idea that someone has a satchel full of money.
Now, you're not kidding anyone. There's 50 grand around here someplace.
There's also a murder to be cleared up.
If you don't stop talking about that, there's have to be another one.
Now you're quite satisfied. No money's here. Perhaps you'll untie us.
It's around here someplace, and you're going to stay right where you are until I find it. I've got the place to myself now. I can give it a real going over.
Afraid I'd overlooked this possibility.
I don't believe there's anybody else down here.
Can't tell for sure.
Well, it's all your fault. If you'd given me the keys to my car, I wouldn't be in this predicament. You've got to get me out of here. I'm going to find something to break down the door. Now, let go. I'm not going to see they locked up here down there for the murder.
Jennifer, I'll bust you one.
But I got to get away from here or I'll go crazy.
Look here. Better off down here than you would be up there at the river. Find out who that is. Come out with your hands up or I'll shoot. So you thought you could escape the gallows, eh? I'll make sure you don't try that again. Go on, get upstairs.
Have you free in a minute.
No.
Where'd that shot come from? Did you fire that shot?
I did not.
Alan, are you hurt?
No, darling. I wouldn't have been caught if it hadn't been for those two nitwits.
Andy, you going about your work.
Mr. Radford, it wasn't my fault. I'd locked down the basement. I couldn't...
Get out of here.
Yes.
What's the matter with you? Have you lost your mind again?
Dead, Ballard.
Dead? That bullet was meant for me.
Well, there's another murder for you. Go ahead and solve it. Maybe you can pull something out of the hat. Ooh. I give up. The sheriff can handle this to suit himself.
It stopped raining. I can leave now. Will you give me the keys to my car?
You can have them as far as I'm concerned.
I'll be happy to see the last of this place.
You'd better see the sheriff before you leave.
Yes, I will. You heard him. Give me my keys.
All right.
Now, look here, Sheriff. Maybe you didn't commit the second murder, but I've sure got you for the first.
But, Sheriff, you're making a terrible mistake.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Just a minute, Mr. Weatherby. You killed Tim Winfield.
No, that's not true. I didn't kill anyone.
You're going to run away and let young Bentley suffer for your crime.
If that's another murder, I'm going screwy.
Move over, Sheriff.
Who fired those shots? What goes on here?
Here's the man who killed Winfield, Sheriff.
Him? Why, I wouldn't suspect him of having the nerve to kill a rabbit.
Now, just a minute, Sheriff. Let me explain.
Shut up. What makes you think he killed Winfield?
The evidence was clear enough. Although it did take a little intelligence to unravel it. Also, he has the money. The other murderer is there. He was an escaped convict. Whitey Cole, who was after me.
Why did you kill Winfield?
I didn't mean to kill him. But when he took the money away from me, it was just as if he'd torn my heart out. You see, I'd gambled everything on that last chance to live, and without the money, it was useless. And as I sat there thinking about that, I got desperate. I picked up the footstool and followed him into a room where he'd gone to hide the money. I hit him as hard as I could. I wanted to hurt him, but I didn't think it'd kill him. And then I threw the satchel out the window, planning on picking it up when I could.
Mr. Bradford, you're hurt.
I guess Whitey has paid off. In full.
Thanks, Mr. Bradford.
I hope you'll both be very happy.
No one leave. Move only at your peril. We will not stop until we have discovered the vampires who seek the life of this beautiful girl. And her lover. Watch out! They may be hovering over you. Or you. Or you! Danger stalks through the night. No one is safe.
Their fury would follow us to the ends of the earth. No, we must destroy them all together.
scourge of mankind, they shall be found. I hereby summon to this place next week every person within the sound of my voice. You shall be judges of this eerie conspiracy. Here we shall meet Lionel Barrymore, Elizabeth Allen, Bela Lugosi, Jean Herschel, Lionel Atwill. Mark of the Vampire.
It's 12 o'clock.
Mulligan. Garrity.
Go away.
How do you spell gorilla? 2 R's or 2 L's? Gorilla, gorilla. G-O-R-G-G-O-O! Just sit tight, Mr. Stevens. The gorilla will get you over our dead bodies. Dead bodies.
But how else can we explain these terrible deaths? Von Elst last night, 5 others before him, that's 6 within as many weeks, Inspector. Our friends, neighbors that we'd known for years, drained of their life's blood, found dead in bed, lifeless skeletons of skin and bone. Vampires are at large, I tell you, vampires.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Brrr. Cotton Himmelbrecht, Schneider, don't jest.
Ah, that blood-sucking legend belongs in the same category with werewolves and all other peasant superstitions.
But the bats, man. The bats. God, yes. Big ones, so.
Oh, now we're switching to bats again.
There was an epidemic of giant bats in Klein Schloss in 1643. And at the same time, there was an outbreak of vampirism.
Rot.
Why, this record from the town archive proves it.
Says it, not proves it.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, here it is. And on this day was von Hausmann hanged from a gibbet in the public square after being convicted on a proven charge of vampirism. And on this same day, there did occur the departure of the bats. Thousands of horrible flying creatures which infested the town for weeks. And on the night of this same day, February 13, in the year of our Lord, 1643, was there a stake driven through von Hausmann's heart and his head cut off with a grave digger's shovel. There.
Well, all the records in the world can't make me believe in vampires. There are blood-sucking bats, yes. In South America, thousands of miles from here, but not in Kleinschloss.
Bats fly. They could fly here. You saw the bodies. All of them. 2 wounds on the neck, right at the jugular vein. 2 wounds on the neck, pierced and spread apart just as if 2 fang-like teeth had bitten through the flesh and right into the veins. And in every case, a blood clot, 8 inches from the victim's neck. The mark of the feast, the devil's signature.
Does that appear the mark of a human being or a demon's?
God save us, the devil's.
You ought to make a pretty fair meal for a vampire. But let's be consistent. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat, just as they choose.
Oh, they're magicians. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole village is in terror. We live in closed houses, behind locked doors and bolted shutters, not daring to close our eyes, fearful lest this unseen silent death may find us in our sleep, for it is then that it strikes, swiftly, silently, ghastly. My room is tightly closed. The windows are barred, nailed down. Nothing can get in. Nothing.
But they tell me vampires can go through stone walls like that.
God save me, so they can. We've got to do something, I tell you. Kleinschloss will become a deserted village.
Well, you might catch all the bats and drown them in the river.
Carl!
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being. A murderer, a fiend.
Well, then don't jest about it. Do something.
I'm trying to. Every hour, every day, every night since this thing started.
Do you hear it? Hear it? Yes. Night after night. Lying awake until dawn. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Good night, gentlemen. Don't let the vampires get you. Are your kisses dynamite?
Don't you like my kisses?
Well, how's my mastermind this evening?
Well, if you want the truth, not so good.
The Burgermeister and his Grand Council still stick to the vampire theory.
Stick to it. Huh. They're quoting history to prove it. I think you and Dr. von Niemann are the only sane people left in the village.
And you? What about you?
Me? Well, I'm beginning to think I'm 7 different kinds of a fool. Murders are being done under my very nose. I must be as blind as the bats themselves. I can't find a single clue.
Oh, but you will, Carl. You will.
Well, I haven't.
Oh, Ruth!
And here comes dear Aunt Gussie to spread good cheer and hope.
Just what I thought. Slaving your life away in this awful place. It hasn't got that nice, clean, wholesome smell of a hospital. How are you, Carl?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Well, I'm not. This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, well, anyway, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
No, thank you, Frau Stampmann.
No, just as well. There's only 2 cups. Here, dear. That'll take the chill out of your bones.
Thank you.
Speaking of chills, Frau Stampmann, did you know the village is supposed to be infested with ghouls and vampires?
Oh, Carl.
Vampires. Pariahs among fiends. Demoniacal creatures with huge canine teeth who bite deeply into the necks of their victims to quaff and gorge on blood. Warm human blood.
There's no such thing as a vampire, Carl Brett Snyder. I don't believe in it. You're just saying that to frighten me. And I just won't be frightened. I'm entirely too sensible to believe in such rubbish.
I beg pardon.
Oh, so it's you.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Who said you frightened me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Could you tell me where Dr. von Niemann is?
We drove to the village to see Martha, the old apple woman.
Thank you.
Is this what Dr. Haupt prescribed?
Yes, sir. She takes it in water.
Well, continue giving it to her.
Yes, sir.
It's stifling in here. Open these windows.
Yes, sir.
Herman open windows. Me do, me do.
Well, she'll sleep well now, poor soul. It won't be necessary for you to stay here. A good night's sleep will work wonders for her.
It was kind of you to come, Doctor.
Oh. Martha has sold me apples for many years. Always a good, ripe, juicy one.
Martha, give me apples. I like.
Oh, Josephine. Oh, Margaret.
She wants her cross.
Herman, get. Herman, get. Here. Here. Now, there. For Martha. There. No.
She won't let it out of her sight.
A terrible experience. To be attacked by a giant bat is enough to shatter anyone's nerves.
She talks about it all the time. How it flew in her face and tried to sink its teeth in her throat.
No, 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 no. Bats no do. They soft, like cat. They not bite Herman.
Be quiet, Herman. See what you've done.
There, Martha, there. She'll be all right. If she isn't, let me know.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
That's all right. Good night.
Good night. Run along, Herman. You can see Martha tomorrow.
Oh.
Ah, Dr. von Niemann.
Ah, Kringen, how are you?
Much better, thank you kindly, sir, since you prescribed for me.
That's right.
Go to bed, Herman. Go to bed. You shouldn't be prowling around the streets. Dangerous. Oh, I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what, Kringen?
The bats, sir. Big, giant bats with wings like an eagle's.
You saw this bat, you say?
I saw it swooping down the street. It came directly for my throat, sir.
When was this, Kringen?
Last night when they came to take Von Els. It was a big, monstrous thing. I saw it leap across the alley and into a window. I ran just as fast as my legs could carry me.
You said nothing about this?
There's enough fear in the village already. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I will. I'll tell the Burgermeister.
Yes, Kringen. That's the thing to do.
No. Bats. Bats good. They not hurt Herman.
He plays with them.
You no tell.
No. No. Go to bed, Herman. Go on. Go on, go to bed.
You say he plays with bats?
His garret is filled with them. He makes pets of them.
That's odd. Very odd.
Maybe he's it. Herman prowls around the streets all hours of the night, just like an animal. Maybe he's the vampire.
Now, don't start any gossip of that, Kringan. Heaven only knows where it might end. Good night.
Good night, sir. There. Now. Soft. Nice. There. See? What did I tell you?
Perhaps there's something in what Kringan says. Seems strange that a human being should want to play with bats.
He isn't human, I tell you. He's in league with the devil.
Put it on. Put it on. There. Thanks.
Now go to sleep. You'll be all right in a few days. The doctor says so.
Close the window. Close the window. I'm afraid. The vampire.
Well, he said leave them open, but I'd have them closed. You want the light?
Leave the light. I'm afraid.
Well, I can't blame you for that either. I'll turn it down a little. Good night. If you want me, just pound on the floor. I'll hear you.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Martha.
Oh.
Herr Brett Schneider is here to see you, sir. He's in the laboratory with Miss Burton.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, here you are.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you, Carl?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if I could find a solution to these murders.
You don't believe in this vampire theory, then?
Of course not. Do you?
There are many strange happenings, my boy. Many mysteries beyond the power of the human mind to comprehend.
Have you a theory which might explain these deaths?
Well, I'll be pleased to discuss it with you, but not now, not now. I have some very important work to do.
Well, tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow? Yes, perhaps. We'll see. Oh, this isn't so important, Miss Betty, that you can't let it go till tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Oh, how about Martha?
Huh? Oh, nothing serious. Just a case of nerves, that's all. Good night.
Good night,
Doctor.
Good night, Carl.
Name.
Martha Mueller.
Age.
I don't know.
Cause of death.
Like all the rest.
The vampire.
Yes, that's so. When I said I was going to tell you, his eyes glowed up like coals of fire. His hand reached out towards me, as if he were going to sink it into my throat.
And weigh this well. He never works and never begs, and yet he appears well-fed always.
That's so, he does.
Well, what does he live on, then? I'll wager it's as Kringan says.
And my woman was in Martha's room tonight when Herman put a flower in her hand.
Strange business, if you ask me. Mighty strange.
I hate to be in your shoes, Kringan.
Yes, after what happened tonight, I'd lock myself in my room and pray God to protect me from the devil.
Good evening, and Doctor. Good evening.
Dr. Von Eman. Doctor.
Well, what do you make of it, Doctor?
Are these two wounds similar to those found on the other bodies?
Dr. Haupt can answer that for you, sir.
Yes, they were the same in every case.
This is a strange condition, Carl. So strange that I doubt the evidence of my eyes. What was your conclusion, Haupt?
I diagnosed the wounds as having been made by needle-sharp teeth. Punctures are clean cut, penetrating into, but not beyond, the jugular vein.
Do you mean to say that you also believe they could have been made by teeth?
Frankly, I do.
Ah, you see, Brett Schneider?
What kind of teeth, Doctor?
An animal of some sort. It's hard to say. The fangs of a wolf, perhaps.
A werewolf.
Could they have been made by, well, a bat, for instance?
A certain species, yes. There are vampire bats. Dr. William Jamison, who explored many of the tributaries of the upper Amazon, states that blood-sucking bats do exist. He further asserts that the victims often become blood drinkers themselves, citing a case in which he saw a native tortured to death in an anthill by his tribe brothers. They swore he had become a human bat, and, states Jamison, he confessed it.
Do you mean to say that such a thing as a human vampire is possible?
Who can say? Historic records would have us believe that an evil soul, assuming there is such, can take any shape it pleases.
So why not think to that of a human being? Eh, Carl? Why not?
Have you any literature on the subject, Doctor?
Yes, I have many interesting volumes on my shelves that might prove very enlightening. I'll be glad to show them to you.
I don't mind admitting that I'm up a tree. Stumped.
Well, we'll see what can be done, my boy.
No, Herman. This is no place for you. Go away, my boy. Go away.
Good night, John.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Haupt.
Good night, Doctor.
In the morning, Carl.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry to have dragged you out at such an ungodly hour.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
A child fleeing in horror from the sight of death.
There goes the vampire. Arrest him. Lock him up. Kill him.
Has the entire village gone mad? Herman wouldn't harm a baby, and you know it.
I've walked the streets of this village for over 40 years, but tonight's the end. He knows that I've told he plays with bats. He knows that I saw him sneak into Martha's house just before midnight.
Perhaps he was taking her another flower, Kringan. The boy brought her one this evening while I was there.
He killed her just like he did all the rest. And now he's gonna kill me. Unless he's killed and a stake driven through his heart, I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm doomed. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me.
morning, Mr. Brett Schneider. What brings you to Klein Schloss so early?
You.
Fibber, I heard the doctor tell Georgiana he expected you.
I knew there was something else.
You're a delightful prevaricator, Carl, but not a very convincing one.
Oh, you don't mind me using your stethoscope, do you, Doctor?
Not at all, Frau Schnappen. But what seems to be the ailment this morning?
What's that? Oh.
What seems to be the ailment this morning?
Well, Doctor, I am positive that I have valvular leakage of the aorta. Or maybe it's the right ventricle. There is something wrong with my heart. I can hear it beat, thump, 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 just like the book says.
Well, if you didn't hear it beating thump, 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 just as the book says, I would say there is something wrong.
What? Without a moon?
You have a heart of stone.
All right, then. Close your eyes. No.
Oh, so, young lady.
It's too early in the morning, Carl. Much too early.
Oh, is it?
Oh, there's Aunt Gussie.
She would show up just at a time like this.
Well, Aunt Gussie, what's the matter now?
I have palpitation of the auricular, ventricular, and mitral valves with a cardiac tendency.
You mean your heart's beating?
Of course it's beating. Dr. Von Neelen tried to assure me, but I know it's serious. I'm liable to go just like that.
Did he prescribe for you, dear?
Yes, monacid ester salicylic acid.
You mean salicylic acid, don't you?
Well, salicylic or salicylic, it's helped me. My heart is much quieter. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
Oh, Carl, you'll be good to her when I'm gone, won't you?
Yes, of course I will, Frau Schnappmann.
Well, I'm not gone yet. You can't marry her unless I say so. Don't forget that. Oh, my heart.
There, Auntie, you'll be all right. Just rest a while. What you need is...
What?
Rest, dear. Quiet. And Gussie has a heart like a steam engine. Come on.
Don't you know it's wrong to steal? You've cut yourself.
See? Blood.
Yes. Stop it, stop it.
No hurt me. No hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. Now, you wait right here, and I'll run in the house and get something for that finger. A subcutaneous wound like that might easily result in a tetanus infection.
Tetanus.
Tetanus. Lockjaw. Not that you need be afraid. From the way you talk, I think you've got it already. Look, here's a nice juicy apple for you.
Ah, this is it. Traits sur les apparitions des esprits et sur les vampires by Augustin Dom Calame in 1746. Let us suppose that these corpses do not actually stir from their tombs,
that only the ghosts or spirits appear to the living. Wherefore do these phantoms present themselves, and what is it that energizes them? Is it actually the soul of the dead man which has not yet departed to its final destination?
Fiddlesticks. Now, how could a corpse buried under 4 or 5 feet of earth get out to do any such foolishness? I don't believe it.
It's a fair question, Doctor. How could it?
Well, according to accepted theory, the vampire dematerializes its body and reintegrates it outside the grave.
It's a good explanation, if you can believe it. And while I'm standing here listening to all this rubbish, there's a poor man in the garden in danger of a tetanus infection. Now, what should I do for him, Doctor? Shall I apply mercurochrome or 2% solution of bichloride?
Well, either will do. Get some gauze and some mercurochrome.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll wait here.
Difficult to believe, isn't it?
It's impossible to believe. And yet, it would explain these deaths, wouldn't it?
Ah, Brett Schneider. Pardon our intrusion, Dr. von Niemann. But after what you saw last night, you'll be interested in this as well.
Well, what's happened?
Gringen was found dead an hour ago, with the 2 punctures in his neck and not a drop of blood in his body. And what's more, Herman Gleib has disappeared.
What?
Now are you convinced that we were right and you were wrong?
That'd be proof enough for anybody. Kringen said Herman would get him, and he did.
Well, Brett Schneider?
I appoint you my deputy. Organize a searching party and comb this countryside from one end to the other. Find Herman Gleib and bring him in, but don't harm him. Do you understand?
What good will that do? He's the vampire. There's only one thing for us to do when we find him. Kill him and drive a stake through his
Herman
heart.
Gleib will be tried by a court of law. If the charge against him is proven true, the law will decide what to do with him, not you. Now get your men together and do as I tell you.
That's the way to talk.
I'm going into town for a little while, Doctor. Would you care to come along?
Oh, I hardly believe so. There's little to be done until they find the boy. If you need me then,
All right, thanks. I'll let you know.
I feel as though I was going to faint.
Oh, there, Auntie. There's nothing here to be afraid of. Here comes Emil with your mercurochrome and bandages. Run along now and take care of that patient of yours.
Oh, heavens, I forgot all about him. Oh. Oh, my heart. Oh.
Poor Auntie. She's had every ailment in the book.
And a lot that aren't, I'm afraid.
Particularly a palpitation of the auriculoventricular, tricuspid, and mitral valves, Doctor.
Well, I had to tell her something to satisfy her.
I'll agree to lay off for 48 hours. But I give you my word, if you don't succeed, I'll come in here, seal every door, place everybody under technical arrest, take fingerprints, conduct a rigid inspection. I don't care if the whole world knows it. There have been 6 murders committed all in the same circumstances. The evidence points here.
Another one.
If you only knew the things that have happened.
Are you worried about your father?
Yes, I am. Terribly.
Oh, the only thing I'm concerned about is your safety. Say, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with me? Nothing at all. Only all last night I lay down with a bunch of stiffs. Look, a lot of goofy guys. Let a dame poke a gun in my stomach, and then I take a trick cigar from a dumb policeman.
It is my theory that one of us in the past, from dire necessity, was driven to cannibalism. The memory of that act was hammered like a nail into the mind of that man. Shrewd and brilliant. He could conceal his madness from the human eye, even from himself, but he can't conceal it from the eyes of the radio sensitivity.
Here, you mustn't do that. Now, where's that finger?
You good like Martha. She give me apples. Herman like you.
Are you Herman?
Me, Herman. You give me apple? Herman give you nice soft bat.
What is it, Georgiana?
I just found this in Emil's room.
Well,
It belonged to my friend, Martha Mueller.
are you certain?
I gave it to her myself. Martha died last night. I find her crucifix in Emil's room. Doesn't that mean Emil is the one Herr Brettschneider is seeking?
This amazes me, Georgiana. It isn't possible.
It rained the night Von Elst died. There was mud on Emil's shoes the next morning.
Have you mentioned this to anyone?
I intend to tell Herr Brettschneider when he calls again.
Can't believe it. Leave this with me. I want to talk to Emil before you say anything to anyone.
The Burgermeister should know at once.
Yes, all in good time. Emil has been with me too long for us to jump at conclusions. Don't say anything until I tell you, and send Emil to me.
Very well, Doctor.
That's for the neuritis. And the pepsin, that Hassenpfeffer is tougher than shoe leather. And sweet spirits of nitre, that'll help, at least won't do any harm. And ginger, that'll warm my stomach. And now, a little pipe out of soda.
going back to the village with us. Come on. We won't hurt you.
No, won't go. Herman afraid.
Come on. You're going with us, Herman.
No.
You're going with us.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Get him. Come on, Herman. We won't hurt you. Come on.
No.
Come, that settles him.
Yes, let's go. We got
Hey.
him down below.
We've got to make certain.
I won't go down there.
Nobody asked you to. I'll go myself.
Can you see him?
He's on a ledge about 50 feet down. I'll get a rope. We've got to make certain, I tell you.
You must be careful, Emil. Very careful. No. It must be, it must be. She's no better than the rest. I've got to go on.
Oh, it's you, Doctor. Good evening. I'm sorry to have to disturb you, Doctor, but we simply couldn't make Georgiana hear the bell.
That's quite all right, my dear. Georgiana's becoming careless. Very careless.
Yes, I've noticed that, too. In my opinion, she has Nagana. That's sleeping sickness. You know the symptoms, Doctor. At first, I thought it was creeping paralysis. So I stuck a pin in her leg to see. And there was a splendid reaction of the reflex motor nerve.
Why, Auntie.
Oh, you're shocked. So was she.
Won't you join me in some coffee?
Yes, thanks, Doctor. We will. There are a few questions I'd like to ask you.
About blood and murders and vampires, I suppose.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, so am I. Well, good night. If such a thing is possible, I'm going to bed.
Won't you join us too, Frau Schnappmann?
Coffee at this hour of the night? No, thank you. I'm going to stick to my monastic salicylic salad. Acid, Doctor, acid. Good night.
What's the news in the village, Carl? Have they located Herman yet?
No, not a trace of him. I hate to think of that poor misfit being hunted down like a dog. You know, I simply can't bring myself to believe in that vampire theory.
Will you pour, Ruth?
Certainly.
I know, Carl. Our saner, calmer judgment tells us that such things can't be, and yet, here, for instance, in this ponderous tome, are cited 1,001 phobias and complexes that human beings are heir to. Some of them are strange, more untenable even than werewolves and vampires. Could I have some more, please?
You drink entirely too much coffee.
Well, it's my one weakness. And also my excuse for tolerating Georgiana's laxity and other things. She does know how to make good coffee. Thank you. She brings it to me every night at exactly 10 o'clock. And when I've drunk it all, then I know it's time to quit.
Yes, and eat breakfast so you can have more coffee.
Oh.
Georgiana, you mustn't lie like that. You'll get yourself a torticolis. No, stiff neck. Georgiana.
That was Auntie. Auntie!
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Oh, it's just...
Amy, help Frau Schnapp into her room.
I'm silly imagination. I imagined myself, Georgia.
The same 2 wounds, Doctor.
And my last words to her were angry ones. A petulant reprimand for being late with my coffee.
What time is that?
About 2 or 3 minutes after 10.
She's been dead then about 45 minutes. Bloodless like the rest. It passes all belief. Ruth's aunt saw Herman Gleib in the garden this morning. Could it be that he... You were the first one here. What happened?
I was in my room reading. My door was open. I must have dozed off for a minute or so because I awoke to hear Frau Schnappmann scream.
You say your door was open?
Yes, my room was very poorly ventilated.
And you saw nothing? Heard nothing unusual?
Nothing.
Carl.
What is it?
This crucifix belonged to Martha. See who it is, Emil.
Can you positively identify this as belonging to Martha?
Without a doubt. I saw it in her room the night she died.
How in the world did it get here?
Herman Gleib was in her room. He had that crucifix in his hands. And Herman was here today.
Maybe here now, for all we know.
Who is it? Oh,
How is she?
she's had a real shock this time, but she'll be all right. I'm putting her to bed.
Leave her there. Don't let her out of this room. And don't you leave it either.
Why, what do you mean?
It looks as if Herman Gleib is the killer after all. It's possible he may be hiding here in the castle.
Why, what makes you think so?
I'll tell you later. Stay in your room and keep your door locked.
Don't worry about that.
I heard every word he said, and I don't think there's any use of them searching for Herman. They should look for a dog, a human-faced dog.
Auntie, the doors and windows are all locked. There's nothing to be afraid of now.
Oh, who said I was afraid? I'm not a bit afraid.
No, of course you're not afraid, but you must get some rest.
Rest in this awful place? With dog-faced Hermans and human-faced bats and blood and murders and vampires.
Find anything, Carl?
There's an unbroken cobweb in that window. If Herman did it, he came through the door.
He must have. And yet I don't understand how he could find his way up here without us hearing him. Yet Emil was asleep, and I was in the library. Yes, he could have done it. The facts all point to it. What was it, Emil?
The Burgermeister. He has news for Herr Brettschneider about Herman.
Oh.
Pardon the intrusion, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion. I knew Carl was here, and I thought you wouldn't mind if I ran in to tell him the news.
About Herman?
Yes. He fell into the Devil's Well in the cave.
He's dead?
Dead as a doornail. This ends our troubles, Carl. The vampire's dead. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, your bones may be wrong. What time did this happen?
Quite early, about 9 o'clock. The cave is nearly 2 hours from here. That's why we didn't hear it sooner.
Well, it may interest you to know that there's been another death after your vampire died.
Who?
Dr. von Niemann's housekeeper. Right here in her own room.
Mother of mercy. What are we going to do?
But a natural death wouldn't kill a vampire, Carl. You know the accepted theory. A stake driven through the heart.
Oh, yes, that's the theory, all right.
But...
But what?
But they did. They drove a stake through his heart.
Good God, are we living in the Middle Ages?
It wasn't through my sanction, Carl. Basawa did it. He told me so himself.
Well, that ends the vampire theory as far as I'm concerned. Herman Gleib died in the accepted fashion for killing a vampire. Oh, no, there's some human agency at work here, Doctor. A madman who kills to satisfy some violent, sadistic urge.
Yes, you're right, Carl. I've been a fool, a superstitious fool.
Did they leave his body in the cave?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Well, in view of what's happened, don't you think you owe him a decent burial?
You're right. In view of what has happened, we do owe him that, Carl. I'll see to it at once, this very instant. And I'll make arrangements for Georgiana's removal to the morgue. Good night, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion.
Good night, Gustav.
Pardon the intrusion.
Well, here I am, just where I started weeks ago. There isn't a single theory that doesn't lead straight into a stone wall. I've jested about this vampire business because my better judgment told me it was a lot of nonsense. Then I reached the point where I was willing to accept even that, because it seemed to satisfy the equation.
All of us are a bit superstitious.
I don't know which way to turn, where to look, what to look for. Why should anyone want human blood? Why? Why?
Calm yourself, Carl.
Calm myself? Calm myself? With all these unsolved murders staring me in the face and no solution in sight? How much blood is there in the human body, Doctor?
About 6 liters, approximately.
Can you think of any purpose for which that amount of blood might be used?
No. Not even in transfusions.
That's the point which stops me. There isn't any other use for human blood. Murderers leave clues. And these atrocities are murders, Doctor. Those simple fools in the village can believe what they like, but you and I are sane, thinking people. And you know and I know, Doctor, that these are murders. The last one was done here. In this very house, right under this roof. All right, I'll start here. I'm going over every foot of this place, both inside and out. Nobody, sane or insane, is clever enough to get away with murder without leaving a clue of some sort. And I'm going to find that clue.
Now, come, Carl. You mustn't let your nerves run away with you. Here. These These will help to give you a good night's sleep. If there are any clues, they'll be here in the morning when your nerves are calm and your mind is clear. Take my advice and go home and rest.
I imagined 1,000 demons were after me as I came down those stairs.
Ruth, didn't I tell you to stay in your room?
Yes, but I wanted the doctor to come up and quiet Auntie. You know, it isn't her imagination this time.
Of course, Ruth, I'll come right away. Take my advice, young man. Go home and go to bed.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Ruth.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Doctor.
If his lights are on, you must wait, Emil. Wait until he has gone to bed. Handle him as you did the others, Emil. You are strong. Very strong. I am waiting for you. Waiting for you to bring him to the laboratory.
You're the one. What mad thing are you doing?
Mad? Is one who has solved the secret of life to be considered mad? Life, created in the laboratory. No mere crystalline growth, but tissue. Living, growing tissue. Life that moves, pulsates, and demands food for its continued growth. Huh. You shudder in horror. So did I the first time. But what are a few lives be weighed in the balance against the achievement of biological science? Think of it. I have lifted the veil. I have created life. Wrested the secret of life from life. Now do you understand? From the lives of those who have gone before, I have created life.
I'll tell Carl.
You may. For tonight, Carl's name will be added to yours. And all of those whom this achievement will immortalize.
I didn't take your sleeping tablets, Doctor.
Emil brought them here. He's the one who murdered them.
Stay where you are. You'll have a chance to tell everything, Doctor.
I'll take care of von Niemann. Get her out of here.
You stay here. Von Niemann and Emil.
Doctor! Dr. Von Niemann!
Carl, she mustn't see them.
Where is Dr. Van Nieuwen? I must see him immediately.
Aunt Gussie, you can't. He can't be disturbed.
Oh, but I must see him. I simply must. That hydrous magnesium sulfate he gave me is affecting me most peculiarly. You'll pardon me?
Hydrous magnesium sulfate. Well, that's Epsom salts.